The next hashira Tanjiro visits is the love hashira, Kenroji Mitsuri. The moment he steps in, Kenroji welcomes him warmly and treats him to a plate of delicious pancakes. This brief moment of respite is short-lived as they soon join the other demon slayers in Kenroji's rigorous flexibility training. The session is both brutal and comical, with Kenroji hilariously insisting that the trainees perform a 180-degree leg spread, leaving them in varying states of discomfort. Despite the difficulty, Tanjiro manages to impress and is permitted to advance to his next training with the snake hashira, Iguro Obanai. Upon meeting Iguro, it is immediately clear that he harbors a strong dislike for Tanjiro, a sentiment that is further inflamed by Kenroji's letters describing her positive experiences with Tanjiro during her training. Iguro's jealousy is palpable, but training must proceed. The task Iguro sets for Tanjiro is deceptively simple. Tanjiro must cut the rope between two wooden boards placed in a room. The challenge, however, is intensified by the presence of other trainees tied to the boards as punishment for failing to meet Iguro's exacting standards. This dangerous setup means that any mistake Tanjiro makes could result in serious injury to the trainees, whose nervous inner voices echo in Tanjiro's ears, pleading, "Please don't hit me." Days pass, filled with bruises, bumps, and agonizing hot water baths over his injuries. But Tanjiro's perseverance eventually pays off. He masters the maneuvering skills required and successfully completes Iguro's training. Just as he is about to leave, Iguro dismissively tells him, "Now go die, you good for nothing. Don't talk to Kenroji like your chums." This parting shot underscores Iguro's lingering resentment. Tanjiro's next destination is the residence of the Wind Hashira, Shinazugawa Seinmi. On his way, he encounters a frantic Zenitsu, who is fleeing in terror from Shinazugawa's house with the Hashira hot on his heels. The chaotic chase ends with Shinazugawa knocking out Zenitsu and dragging them both back to the training arena. Shinazugawa's training methods are especially brutal, exacerbated by Tanjiro's earlier remark that he doesn't like Shinazugawa because the Hashira had stabbed his sister, Nezuko. Over the following days, Tanjiro endures a reign of terror marked by colorful bruises and relentless aggression. During this time, Tanjiro overhears a tense conversation between Genya and Shinazugawa, where Genya refers to Shinazugawa as his brother. Shinazugawa's wrathful response and Genya's admission of having eaten demons suggest a complex and painful history between the brothers. This revelation provokes Shinazugawa, leading him to fatally wound Genya. Tanjiro's quick reflexes save Genya, but this act of defiance further angers Shinazugawa. The conflict escalates as Tanjiro tries to protect Genya and argue on his behalf, which results in Tanjiro being banned from Shinazugawa's residence and his training there being suspended. After this tumultuous encounter, Tanjiro and Zenitsu make their way to the residence of the stone Hashira, located deep within the forest. As they traverse the dense woods, they come upon a water body with several trainees submerged beneath it, including Inosuke. The sight of the imposing Himejima, sitting with massive logs of wood on his shoulders and surrounded by fire, further heightens their apprehension. They brace themselves for yet another round of intense and unconventional training. This grueling segment is designed to enhance the trainees' lower body strength through a series of daunting tasks. These include enduring the freezing waters of a waterfall, lifting 3 massive logs, and pushing an enormous stone boulder a full cho away, equivalent to a staggering 358 feet. The intensity of the training immediately overwhelms Zenitsu, who faints and is unceremoniously tossed into the river by the stone Hashira's orders. The shock of the icy water jolts him back to consciousness, and he immediately resumes his usual routine of complaints and paranoid screaming. In contrast, Tanjiro finds a source of motivation in Inosuke, who stands resolutely under the punishing waterfall. Just as Tanjiro begins to admire Inosuke's tenacity, Inosuke ceases his mantra chanting, revealing that he has, in fact, lost consciousness. This realization sends Tanjiro into a frantic and comical attempt to revive his friend, adding a lighthearted moment to the otherwise strenuous training session. Tanjiro then takes his turn under the brutal waterfall, soon joining the other trainees who lie sprawled on the rocks like moss, desperately seeking warmth for their frozen bodies in order to continue their rigorous training. During their lunch breaks, the trainees engage in discussions about the stone hashira, Jayamai Himejima. They speculate that he might be the strongest of all the hashira. Tanjiro agrees, noting that Himejima's scent feels distinctly different from the others, hinting at his unparalleled strength. Over the ensuing days, both Tanjiro and Zenitsu make progress in their training, though it is slow and painful. Tanjiro eventually attempts to push the massive boulder. Despite his best efforts and the considerable amount of sweat he sheds, the boulder remains immovable. Meanwhile, in the eerie confines of the Infinity Castle, Muzan Kibutsuji continues his malevolent plotting. He employs a 4th-rank demon who possesses a unique blood demon art, allowing him to deploy multiple eyes throughout the city. These eyes, like tiny spiders, stalk the demon slayers, providing Muzan with crucial intelligence. His primary targets are Nezuko and Yurakodaki, whom he seeks with relentless determination. Back in the wilderness, Tanjiro perseveres in his attempts to shift the boulder, and during his breaks, he cooks for the other exhausted trainees. One day, Genya arrives and shares with Tanjiro a crucial technique he learned from Himejima. This technique, called repetitive action, is similar to total concentration breathing but involves a set of predetermined movements. These can include chanting, as Himejima does, or repeatedly recalling moments of intense anger or pain to heighten physical abilities by opening all 5 senses. Genya also notes that Tanjiro's Demon Slayer mark is becoming darker, indicating his growing strength. While Tanjiro practices the repetitive action technique, Inosuke and Zenitsu arrive to observe. As Tanjiro recalls his family's memories and the inspiring words of Rengoku, "Set your heart ablaze," he feels his body heat up. This surge of energy enables him to gradually move the boulder, inch by painstaking inch. His friends watch in awe, with Zenitsu exclaiming, "You're a monster." Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for upcoming episodes. Cheers!